Good morning. Oh, hello, good day, whatever time of day it is for you. For me, it's morning. I've got this stunning sun, and I'm here today to talk through 3 ways that you can use content you have in Word docs to create products, digital products. This question's thanks to Lisa, and she was asking how can she create digital products from PDFs that she has, like workbooks and worksheets, and then create a social media and email campaign to promote them. So today I'm just going to be covering the first bit. And actually, I went down a massive wormhole trying to answer this. I thought I knew the answer, and I discovered that there's things have changed out there in the digital landscape since I dealt with them in this way. And it was great. I feel like I know heaps more now, and I feel really empowered around the tech around it. So yeah, let's go. Um, First of all, I would just introduce the 3 ways. So the first way is using Google Docs. The second way is, well, the next 2 ways really are using Canva. So the first way is using Canva and their workbook templates. And the second Canva way, or the third way, is using the Docs feature inside Canva. I won't go into detail yet because you'll get to see each of them as we go through. I'm going to screen share and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, number one is you've got this stuff in a Word doc, am I right? And you think, this is good. I could use this as a product. And first up, I would say, that's my dog growling. You don't even actually need to take it out of here and put it into Canva. My business mentor, George Cow, taught me this method where you use a Google Doc as the course content. And there's no need to feel like this is a sub or a less than method. This is a great method, and I've done plenty of paid work with mentors, coaches. I've bought things on Etsy, all to do with files in Google Drive. So this is a legitimate option. It's just maybe something you haven't heard of before, or there are just lots of shiny course platform methods out there, like all those go high level platforms like Kartra, ClickFunnels. They have great marketing and they might make you feel like you need to get their platform and have it all in a course structure, but you don't. The big trick with a digital product is, in fact, this is probably something that I need to backpedal a bit and just explain for all 3 methods. With all 3 of these methods, you're going to end up with an item that is essentially a link that you share with people once they've paid. So I go on your website, I pay for this workbook, and then how do I get it? You're going to give me access to a link where I go and I download the product. So that integration part of it, of the process, is a separate action that really just requires its own video. And it's very difficult to make a video for that because everybody has different methods. I have a WordPress website, so I love to put my PDFs inside my website. Some people are just going to use Google Drive, and I shouldn't even say just use Google Drive. They're going to choose to use Google Drive, and Google Drive is really just a big file storage space that you can access privately and you can share publicly. The only way people are going to get that link is if you give it to them or if their friends share it. And this is always a possibility, even with a really fancy go high level online course platform. I still give my friends my logins to certain courses that I'm doing if I want to. And there's sort of nothing you can do to stop someone if they're going to do that. And you can just humbly request that people don't. Or you could have a referral process where people get money for sharing it with their friends or some other incentive to pull people away from just sharing the link. So really that applies to all 3 of these methods. You'll see as we go through that each of them requires you to generate a link because you've got that piece of that PDF or that Google Doc link ready and you're going to share that with people. I would say you're going to link up an email service, and once people have gone through the checkout process, you're going to deliver it to them using that. So MailerLite, MailChimp, Aweber, ConvertKit. There's a lot of them. I personally like MailerLite, and SendFox is another low-cost option. All right, there's a lot to say on this topic. Let's get back to our Google Doc. So with Google Docs, there's a few things for me that really make this an excellent way to share information with my course participants. I've delivered a number of courses like this, like using this document method. And there's a few keys that I would suggest that a few kind of processes you get in the habit of if you're going to go down this route. I would say one of them is using headings. So this is a title. This one is an H1, and I have some H2s. You can use the whole hierarchy all the way down. And why? Because over here, there's this outline that gets automatically generated also in Word doc and Pages if you're on Mac. All the tools in this ilk do the same thing. They create an outline. And when you click that, it creates its own content page. And I just think that makes it easier for the course participants to navigate through. It also lets you link within your, what am I saying? Come on, words. It lets you link within your own document to different parts. So I'm trying to find one now. What's that called? The like anchor link. But we can have it. So just say here, I say affiliates. And then further down here, I want to actually send them here. In fact, I could say here, later will come later. So here I'm going to put a link, and I'm going to link it to this affiliate part down here. So the good thing about using this heading structure is each of these headings creates its own unique link. And that's not really visible to us, but here we go, heading HG2, blah, blah, blah. That's the unique position here of this. So we can copy this URL, and then we can come back to this bit here and say, we're going to turn the later, and then we're going to create a link, and we're going to paste that in. And now if someone's working through this, when they click here, it will zoom them down to the affiliate section. So that's a really fun feature. And the third thing that really makes it such a beautiful way to interact as a course participant and as the person delivering the course is when we set it to share. So we're going to click share, and we're going to change it. Normally, the default is restricted, right? However, what we can do is change that to anyone with the link, and let's change it from viewer to commenter. Then we're going to copy the link. And this is that link I mentioned that you're going to share with people when they purchase. Now, once people have been shared this document and they're reading through, they're working through, they can comment, and you can teach them how to do it. And in fact, I think, here we go, getting answers. You can comment inside this document, highlight some text, and then click the blue speech icon. Oh, it's not blue anymore. Here it is. Add a comment. And now what happens when someone comments here is I get an email every time someone comments. And so for users, they can highlight some content and they can say, what exactly, oh, it's over here. What exactly do you mean about, this part here, or whatever it is? Or often people will tell me that I've got typos and fun things like that because they're legends. So that makes it a really interactive document, and it means that I'm just getting all those notifications, and every few days I can go in and I can respond to people. So it makes it a lot more high touch than just sending them a document that they can't actually get any feedback from you. So this is definitely number one of the three options. What do you think? Do you think that could work for you? I guess it does depend on what kind of content you have in these magical Word docs, Lisa, that you're going to turn into products. But I think that is a beautiful way. It's certainly a good first iteration as well. Like if you're working lightly and you're in beta mode, this is a great way to just test out a course idea before you commit to the time and energy it takes to get that into a big course platform. Or, even you can put worksheets and workbooks into a go high level product like Kartra or ClickFunnels or a course platform. But you may have tested it here, just helps you to save money because it's free. Yeah, what do you think? The second method is using Canva. Now, I just want to preface this by saying that there are two ways essentially to do the same thing in Canva, which is what I'm going to show you now. The first version, the workbook version, I think is gorgeous. It's the main reason I think that there's a bit of a barrier with this. The main challenge with this is time. If you have a huge document like that, word of mouth course is a very long document, comprehensive. To get that whole document into a really gorgeous workbook is going to take quite a lot of time copying, pasting, to make it look great. And, um, you know, I think if it's a big document, that's probably not the way I would go with it. If I had a very large document, I'm probably going to bring it in as a Word document in the second Canva method, where a lot of the data is already there and I can just selectively go through and change the look of some of it. So let's look at these two methods now. I think that this first method, the workbook method, is great if it's a worksheet or it's just only a few pages long. Um, so I've just come to Canva, I wasn't logged in before, I've just opened it up and this is what I see. So I wonder if this is what you see. What we're looking for is this, what will you design today bar. So just see if you can go to home, 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 and not in any of these sidebars. Now click on templates and then just type in workbook. And what we're going to see is a heap of gorgeous templates made by graphic designers who are really skillful. We've got cohesive color and font designs. So it all feels really tied together. And the main thing I'm looking at when I look at these is if I'm doing, say, a worksheet and say it's got fillable components, I can save a lot of time by using one of these. I'm going to choose, well, you can click on it and have a preview. Like it's got questions with blocks, it's got some checklists, it's got um, questions with blocks. I love that. Oh, it's got so many things. It's got daily planners, it's got weekly planners, it's got a monthly overview. I mean, this one is an absolute corker, but it will, of course, depend. So, this one I think is great. There's a little bit of space for text. I would say this is very an action based one, and it's not really super text heavy. This could be something else. This could be 3 steps. You can use these blocks of text for other things, but I think these workbooks are a good guide for what would make a gorgeous product. And if you needed more text than this, I'd say it's probably a little bit too much work, like to do it in this structure. And that maybe you'd want to consider version 3 of this tutorial. Let's go ahead and get in here. I think this is gorgeous. And I'd say the first couple of things I do when I get into one of these workbooks is I sort out my brand colors and fonts. And if you don't have set brand colors and font, or if you just like the way this one looks and you don't care, you've got a little bit less work. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change this one to my brand font, which is Montserrat. And then look, it gives me the option to change all, which means boom, boom, boom. The whole thing's quickly into my brand, which I love. This one, I'm going to change it to Laura. And again, yes, all the clear sands to Laura. Then what I like to do is just have a little look through because sometimes when I change the fonts, the formatting has all spilled over. And I don't know if this is going to give me a good example of that because those two fonts were just a pretty good match for the existing fonts. So let's see if I can make it spill over. Nah, whatever. All you'd have to do, say one has spilled over, like say this one is all like all over the place. It's overlapping this or it's overlapping that. All you have to do is just grab them and move them to where you want. And you might also just change the size of some things. Like you might go, oh, actually, it's all a bit too dense. And you might just have to click on something and toggle down and change the size of the fonts and certain things. But luckily, this one has worked out really nice and fits in without having to edit much. This bit here, I'm going to change this color to one of my brand colors. And again, I can change all of them. So that is really nice. The other thing you're probably going to want to change is images. With images, I recommend just clicking on the image and then bringing in your image. because sometimes, it's just hard to bring them in. So if I just grab it and bring it in, sometimes it just misbehaves. So I like to pre-select the image that I'm going to pop in. What else could we say about this process? It should be pretty cruisy. Look, it looks pretty cruisy, but I know Canva isn't always cruisy. If, like, say we don't like this icon, we can just delete it and change the icons. I think this is I think this is nice. I like this one. And then you're going to simply go into your document, copy out your bits of content and paste them in over here. And it's good to note that what's probably beautiful about this design is the size and blocks of font. So if you start going in and wanting to put a lot more font than was originally there, like let's get another one. If we get this much font and we try and put it in here, that's not going to work. It's going to take up the whole box. So you just need to know that this looks great because of the amount of font sometimes, and be a bit careful. Maybe you decide you're only going to have two of these, and that's how you're going to make it work. You're going to have more text here, but you're going to kind of move things around a bit. So that's it. Once you've got this finished, I would normally download it as a PDF. I might do PDF for print because people might print it. And I guess that's another thing that I often consider when I'm creating these is perhaps I'm actually going to make this a white background, and say that these are the printable pages, and I'm not going to have this colored background here either. And so sometimes I do make two versions. I make the gorgeous version and I duplicate a few of these pages, and I might say, I'll pop them at the end of the design using these arrows. And I would say, with bonus printable pages, and I would make like some of these as very white background pages like this, because not everybody has a color printer. And then when they get printed in black and white, it doesn't look as good. So that's another thing I can do. But for gorgeous, and some people might send it off to the printer, or they might have a great printer and love a really high color version. Then I download it. Once it's downloaded, that's this step that I was talking about before. It's essentially how you're going to get that PDF to people. You're going to need to either upload it into Google Drive and then click on that link to share it, and choose to share it to anybody as a viewer. So that's one way. And the other way is to bring it into your website as a media item, and that will generate its own URL. Let's have a quick look at both those methods. So, Drive. Everybody has Google Drive. Even if you've never used it and you don't have all this stuff in it, everybody has it. So, just click New, File, Upload. And then we're going to get our workbook and we're going to just upload it. Won't take long. This is what you will use for both of these Canva methods. So that's going to appear in a minute, and then we're going to get the link to share it. So come on, little friend, click on that. And then when we choose share, we're going to change it from restricted to anyone with the link can view. And then we copy the link. Now this is the link we're going to use. I mean, we can put this link into, if you're using just a PayPal button, which is a great low cost and easy way to do it. The confirmation step can send them to this URL. And that's quite good. I just wouldn't rely on only that, because sometimes people's computer crashes or something glitches, and then they'll be emailing you asking them where's their product gone. So I think it is still helpful to have a way that they get added to an email list and it gets delivered to them in their inbox. And then they can always go back to their inbox and download it. It's just easy and it's kind of on them. It's tucked away in their inbox and happy days. Now, this other method is getting it onto your WordPress website. And here's mine. Actually, is it open? No. We're going to just log in to the WordPress website and go to media and add a new media file. If we click on media and then add new media, then we're just going to select our item And once it's downloaded, it will immediately offer us to copy the URL to the clipboard. It just, maybe yours doesn't, but this is what mine does. Oh, here it is. Copy URL to clipboard. Again, we have this URL that we will give to people. And then whether in their inbox or the PayPal confirmation or whatever way you're using to collect money, it will appear there for people. They can access it. They can download it. I would still be emailing it to people. So that's the two ways to share it once you've created it. Now let's look at this third Canva method. The third Canva method is from that original Canva page. Let's go home, 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 get rid of all this. And we're home and we want to create. You may also see it here. We're looking for a doc. We want to create a doc. Now, what's different about this is it mimics a lot of the behaviors of a Word doc. Now, we can upload a Word doc. We can upload it. I think I've got it here from the other day. Where is it? Here it is, Grow Your Word of Mouth. And we're going to bring that in. And then we just click on it and it should just populate our whole design. Boom. So look at that. All that copy and pasting. For a long workbook, if you're going to use that other method and you're going to get a lot of text, like this is a lot of text, and you want to put it all into a Canva workbook, the gorgeous version, it's just, I've done it for clients and it takes yonks. So if you've got the time and you love the beauty, it could really be worthwhile. But if you want to get it in and you want to save yourself a bunch of time, you can still beautify this now as it is, okay? So what I'm going to do is remove a few bits because I'd probably want to make Grow Your Word of Mouth into a gorgeous banner. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep deleting up. And then what I want to do is actually insert a design. And it opens in the usual Canva Designer window, so we can see in a second when it loads. Here we are, and we're going to make a gorgeous banner. So we can use one of their cool templates, and we can also go into our projects and look at all of our designs, and we will find that recent workbook, and we could use this as a guide, you know, like, so we might have our pictures over here and make them bigger. Oops, I can't really do that yet because I've got too much junk. I want to get rid of that. And then we might put our words in here and then we might, oops, drag that over here for a sec while we just kind of get rid of all this junk. And oops, it's not really junk, is it? Because it did make it look a bit snazzy. What was there? Like we might have a tagline. I don't know what that shadow blob's good for, but yeah, sometimes these things make it nice. So maybe these are important taglines and we want to make it bigger. This is rough, but I think you get where I'm going with this. I am trying to be quick for the sake of the tutorial and because this isn't a real project I'm doing, I don't really want to give it too much time, but you can definitely take more time with it. And we'd save that and we can just stretch it out like this. And I think there is a way that we can get it to the top. But I have struggled with this at times because that's kind of what it wants to do, Canva. Canva Docs, it has its limitations. Now, this is not all applicable, obviously, because this is a different course, but maybe I want to make little kind of interjection banners, you know, like maybe for each chapter, I want them to have a nice little heading. And then I might choose one of these existing ones. Like just to have my headings looking great. Like this looks pretty fun. And what I can't remember my words now. I think it was what, why, how, word of mouth. Let's say that's what it was. So each of my chapter headings could be a nice banner. And to get it to be full width, we just drag it out like that. See, that's kind of a fun, I should have taken that out. I think that does make it look more gorgeous. And say you do have a part where you want there to be one of those worksheets, you can actually slide them in. Say you've got it in a previous design. Oh, hello. We can change the size of our design window. This is what we want. Nope. Hello. Okay. We can grab this and drag it bigger. It's going to let me. There it is. This, we can make it big. We can make it this big. And then we could pop this in. And then we'll just save it and it will just appear in our document. And if we want it to be full width, boom. So we can still have some of these gorgeous design features. And I would say, let's try one more and see how it works to get it in from a template. Let's go. Maybe we want to add another design. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, she has a little think then, doesn't she? Let's look for workbooks in here and see. Oh, excuse me. Search workbooks in elements. That's weird. Let's see if we can make it bigger. This is what it did to me the other day. Say it's this big. Oh, this big. It doesn't look like it is going to let us. Oh yeah, maybe it is. Ah, excellent. So even within here, we can go in, we can find a workbook with a fillable sheet, and we can slide it in. So that's pretty fun. Let's use this. So great. It is definitely possible to just bring in those gorgeous elements from and slide them into our doc. That's exciting. Obviously, this is imperfect, but what I'm just trying to show you here is it saves a lot of time because there's a lot of information here, and I would not want to be copying and pasting and formatting it all. There are other things we can do. So we can insert columns and tables and sheets and other things. So we could insert a couple of columns, and maybe we want to put, this stuff up here, and then we want to. Yeah, maybe we just want, it's a lot to have all of, anyway, let's just do it as a demo. We're going to put affiliates here, and then we're going to put referrals over here. I think I'm just in a weird zone. That's what's happened. And I say I'm going to just copy this. And this is a separate topic. This is affiliates and this is referrals, and we're doing sort of a side-by-side compare. We can probably put borders around them. It's a shame that there's no spacing, cell spacing. That's what we like. So we can play around and highlight things. We can, maybe we can put a picture in a second column. I wonder. Oh, look, we can change the sizing. We can do all kinds of fun stuff. So if you know your way around a Word document, you're probably going to actually really love this part of Canva. And again, we're just going to need to download it as a PDF and then get that file somewhere on the internet so that when people purchase it, they can access it. And so it's up to you to choose where you do that. If you have another file sharing system other than WordPress and Google Docs, obviously that would definitely still work for you. It's just very personal. And let me know if you want to follow along. I'll probably do another video showing you that PayPal button link up method. And I will also go into details about social media and email campaigns to promote your product once you've got it all ready to sell. I hope this is helpful. I think this is on the longer side, but have a beautiful day and I'll see you really soon. Mwah.